If he be melanated, that means that the people who built those concentration camps is gonna be sitting up in the motherfuckers themselves. If he be white, it means that the people who built those concentration camps is gonna be sitting up in the motherfuckers themselves. That's all to it. They built their own method of getting exterminated off the planet. I guarantee you that. These white governments are not going to kill us melanated people when we have all these space vessels flying around with our uncles and aunties in it. It just ain't gonna happen. So it only be right that since they wanted to build those type of structures, that they utilize them for themselves. And Obama can take his ass up in there with them if he want. Real simple. Feel me? Thus says the Lord, as you would say in your Christian test.
Understand it, because I totally agree. I agree with you 100% what you just said, like, as far as Obama, you know?
Then I suggest if they just tuned in, then they missed the things that went before to set the stage for this. So I would suggest to them, come out on Sunday, bring the same questions, hear the whole panorama presented with the pieces that aren't being fitting in, and then go for Q&A and see if we can reach a happy medium. If we don't, at least we came and we shared the information.
Let's get to some more questions, Dr. Blaine. Caller, 617 area code.
Hi, Dr. Blair.
Hi.
Hi, I wanted to ask you about, well, I wanted to tell you an experience I had about 6 years ago, and I wanted to see what you made out of it. I was sleeping on my couch, my long couch one night, and for some reason I just woke up out of my sleep and just sat straight up. And I looked out my window where I had lived on the 4th floor at the time. And there was a cross that I would stare at a lot. It was connected to a church that was, the black history relating to the church was really deep because they built their own church, I guess around the time when there was slavery in the South. So I noticed a light where the cross usually is, and then I'm looking and I'm like, when did they put a light up there? And then the light moved, and then it moved a little more from side to side and then up, and then I'm staring and I'm frozen, and then I see like 4 or 5 more lights, like they did formations and they danced around in the sky a little bit. And I couldn't move. They did pulsating, it looked like pulsating lights, maybe like a very soft green and yellow and red. And I was shocked, I was amazed, I couldn't believe what I was looking at, I couldn't move. And I remember telling my mom and relatives, and they didn't believe I was lying, but they just didn't know what to make out of it. I remember my mom telling me not to talk about it anymore. So I went for years, well, I might as well forget about it. I regret that I didn't write it down, some of the details, because a part of me wanted to just act like it didn't happen, and then a part of me, know it happened, and I know it means something, I don't know. Maybe it was the government or something, I don't know. Can you please help me out here?
Well, I'm not sure if I can or if I can't. The point is, are you sure that you were still asleep?
I was awake.
And then woke up? Or were you in like a stage between, what they call an etheric stage between the astral and the physical?
I was awake.
Okay. In many cases, there are many people who are seeing shadow people. There are many people who are seeing the old hag. There are many people who are seeing what they want to call the little grays. There are many people who are seeing reptiles. It all means that your consciousness is being evolved as you sleep. And this is what sleep is, when you come out of the body and become who you really are. We have to get out of these bodies because they get too dirty, and overnight we have to clean them up. But then the real you comes out of the body. When people say they go into sleep, this is one of the things I teach in sleep classes. When you go to sleep, where do you go? So when you woke up, you still carried that image of an awakened, vibrating pineal gland, which can see in the 4th dimension, which can even see in the 5th dimension. And this is what you saw. Consequently, when you then try to take that back to what we call reality, you couldn't, because we're not in reality. We're on the 3rd dimension. That's below reality. So you went to where you should be, saw what you should see, then had to come back to the 3rd dimension, and this is where it becomes a problem.
Yeah, it nobody knew what to make out of it. They knew I wasn't lying, but they're like, are you sure, you know, you wasn't still asleep, or, you know, all kinds of explanations, and, you know, and I knew I was awake. I physically, I tapped myself, and I just couldn't believe what I was watching.
I understand, and it's out there to be seen. You know, they're using now what they call these infrared lenses, these goggles of night vision. The third stage, not these basic ones you can get easily, but the ones that cost a lot of money, third dimension, they're now seeing battles going on there in the fourth dimension. You can see things with these goggles that you normally can't see. They were there, but they're on a different wavelength, a different octave of vision. You know, we have 12 different, from infrared to ultraviolet.